And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we have got a fantastic show for you today. But first of all, I want you to know that, yesterday I said we were live too, but the truth is we had to do an archive show yesterday. They were working on my roof and they were making such a horrible noise that I was afraid it would really disrupt the show. So I apologize for that. But we are live right now. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and of course we'll be doing our ongoing news segment, the tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey, and the rest of the story. Today's story is going to be Brother Bob, and you're not going to want to miss that. Not at all. And if my sister Shirley's listening, it's not the Brother Bob that you think it is. And you know what? I'll be talking today about how to avoid challenges to your will. I'll also tell you how to get your health insurer to pay up. Those are some good things. And there'll be a few other things I'll be able to talk about too. Our own Joel Saltzman, Dr. Wireless, will be here. He'll be talking about new wireless technology that's in the news. You're not going to want to miss any of that stuff. But right now, you know what? Let's just get to the news. There's a lot of it. And right off the top, Trump moves to build that wall with Mexico to curb refugees. Well, you know what? President Donald Trump moved aggressively to tighten the nation's immigration controls today, signing executive actions to jumpstart construction of his promised U.S.-Mexico border wall and cut federal grants for immigrant-protecting sanctuary cities. As early as tomorrow, he is expected to pause the flow of all refugees to the United States and indefinitely bar those fleeing war-torn Syria. Beginning today, the United States of America gets back control of its borders, Trump declared during a visit to the Department of Homeland Security. We are going to save lives on both sides of the border. The actions, less than a week into Trump's presidency, fulfilled pledges that animated his candidacy and represented a dramatic redirection of United States immigration policy. They were cheered by Republicans, allies in Congress, condemned by immigration advocates, and triggered for immediate new tension with the Mexican government. Trump's expected to wield his executive power again later this week with the directive to dam the refugee flow into the United States for at least 4 months, in addition to the open-ended pause on Syrian arrivals. Well, we'll see what happens. You know what? You can't really say anything. We elected this guy based on those promises, and now he's fulfilling his promises. So let's see what happens. Well, you know what? Let's talk about the EPA science under scrutiny by Trump's political staff. Trump administration is mandating that any studies of data from scientists at the Environmental Protection Agency undergo review by political appointees before they can be released to the public. The communications director for President Donald Trump's transition team at the EPA, Doug Erickson, said today the review also extends to content on the federal agency's website, including details of scientific evidence showing that the Earth's climate is warming and man-made carbon emissions are the blame. Former EPA staffers said today that the restrictions imposed under Trump far exceed the practices of past administrations. Erickson said no orders have been given to strip mention of climate change from the www.epa.gov site, saying that no decisions have yet been made. We're taking a look at everything on a case-by-case basis, including the web page and whether climate stuff that will be taken down, Erickson said in an interview with the Associated Press. Obviously, with a new administration coming in, the transition time will be taking a look at the web pages and the Facebook pages and everything else involved here at the EPA. Asked specifically about scientific data collected by agency scientists, such as routine monitoring of air and water pollution, Erickson responded, "Everything is subject to review." Well, let's hope that they do that, and let's hope they take it to the FDA as well, and the CDC. Those are certainly things that have to happen. We're going to talk a lot about the CDC on tomorrow's show with Sean Lefebvre. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. So anyway, let's talk some more about what's currently in the news right now. Chicago mayor welcomes help and warns against deploying troops. A day after President Donald Trump declared that he was ready to send in the feds if Chicago can't reduce its homicides, Mayor Rahm Emanuel warned against deploying the National Guard, saying it would hurt efforts to restore trust in the police. Trump offered no details on what kind of federal intervention he was suggesting or if it could involve troops, but the mayor cautioned that using the military could make matters worse. We're going through a process of reinvigorating community policing, building trust between the community and law enforcement. The mayor told reporters just today, sending troops is antithetical to the spirit of community policing. He said he welcomed federal help battling gangs, guns, and drugs. Well, we'll see what happens. But on Tuesday night, Trump did tweet, if Chicago doesn't fix the horrible carnage going on, 228 shootings in 2017 already, with 42 killings, up 24% from 2016, he'll send in the feds. Well, you know what? How long do you wait? How long do you allow people to continue to be killed and to disrupt the law before you actually do something about it? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Well, Trump says that torture works as his government readies a review. Here's the deal. President Donald Trump declared today that he believes torture works as his administration readied a sweeping review of how America conducts the war on terror. It includes possible resumption of banned interrogation methods and reopening CIA-run black sites, prisons outside of the United States. In an interview with the ABC News, Trump said that he would wage war against Islamic State militants with the singular goal of keeping the United States safe. Asked specifically about the simulated drowning technique known as waterboarding, Trump cited the extremist group's atrocities against Christians and others and said, "We have to fight fire with fire." Trump said that he would consult with new Defense Secretary James Mattis and CIA Director Mike Pompeo before authorizing any new policy. But he said that he had asked top intelligence officials in the past day, does torture work? And the answer was yes, absolutely, Trump said. Well, you know what? He also added that he wants to do everything within the bounds of what you're allowed to do legally. So, you know what? I think the guy he's not sitting on his thumbs. That's what I think. I think you're going to see the most productive 100 days of any presidency in history. Now, whether you like what he does or doesn't like what he does, that's yet to be seen. But productive? Man, this guy doesn't sleep. He doesn't let any grass grow under his feet. Trump says torture works and the government is ready for the review. And that's just simply the way it's going to be. Yeah. Well, I can tell you this, that markets right now, the Dow Jones Industrials breach 20,000. The latest on developments in financial markets. Here's the deal. At 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 20,000 points for the first time, the latest milestone in a record-setting drive for the stock market. It's been 2 months since the Dow crossed 19,000 points. Other major U.S. indexes also closed at an all-time height today. Banks and other financial companies posted the biggest gains. Wells Fargo jumped 3.7%. Industrial companies also rose sharply. Boeing surged 4.2%, the biggest gain in the Dow. The Dow, which tracks 30 major industrial companies, surged 155 points, or 0.8%, or 0.8%, to 20,068. The Standard & Poor's 500 index rose 18 points, and the bond prices fell. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note rose to 2.52%. Well, we're going to leave. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some more news. We'll talk about pioneering TV actress Mary Tyler Moore dies today at age 80. I'll tell you all about it after these brief messages. Don't go away, folks.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:13 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 37 degrees, but here's a shocker for you. Day before yesterday, or actually yesterday, it snowed in Upland, California. I can't believe it. You know, and you don't see that very often. You know, when I talk to our buddy Sean LaFave tomorrow, and I tell him this, he's just not going to believe it at all. But I'll be telling him about it. You don't want to miss tomorrow's show. We're going to be talking about vaccines and some new information that came out that is going to just absolutely blow your mind. So you don't want to miss tomorrow's show with Sean LaFave. Well, right now, we're talking about news, and let's talk about something sad. Pioneering TV actress Mary Tyler Moore dies just today at age 80. Mary Tyler Moore, the star of TV's beloved The Mary Tyler Moore Show, whose comic realism helped revolutionize the depiction of women on the small screen, died today, and like I say, she was 80 years old. Moore gained fame in the 1960s as the frazzled wife Laura Petrie on the Dick Van Dyke Show. In the 1970s, she created one of TV's first career women sitcom heroines in The Mary Tyler Moore Show. She was an impressive person and a talented person and a beautiful person, a force of nature. Producer, creator, and director Carl Reiner, who created the Dick Van Dyke Show, told the Associated Press, she'll last forever as long as there's television. Year after year, we'll see her face in front of us. Moore won 7 Emmy Awards over the years and was nominated for an Oscar for her 1980 portrayal of an affluent mother whose son is accidentally killed in Ordinary People. Tributes came pouring in. Mary's energy, spirit, and talent created a new bright spot in the television landscape, and she'll be very much missed. That's what Robert Redford, director of Ordinary People, said in a statement. Ellen DeGeneres, who took a Twitter to say, Mary Tyler Moore changed the world for all women. Moore's first major TV role was on the classic sitcom The Dick Van Dyke Show, in which she portrayed a young homemaker, wife of Dick Van Dyke's character, comedy writer Bob Petrie, from 1961 to 1966. With her unerring gift of comedy, Moore seemed perfectly fashioned to the smarter wit of the new post-Eisenhower age. As Laura, she traded in the house dress of countless sitcom wives for capri pants and were as fashionable as they were suited to the modern American woman. Laura was a dream wife and mother, but not perfect. Viewers identified with her flustered moments and her protracted plaintive cry to her husband, "Oh, Rob." Moore's chemistry with Van Dyke was unmistakable. Decades later, he spoke warmly of the chaste but palpable off-screen crush that they shared during the show's run. They also appeared together in several television specials over the years, and in 2003 co-starred on the PBS production of the play The Gin Game. But it was as Mary Richards, the plunky Minneapolis TV producer on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, it ran from 1970 to 1977, that Moore truly made her mark. At a time when women's liberation was catching on worldwide, her character brought out to TV audiences an independent 1970s career woman, other than Marlo Thomas' 1960 sitcom character That Girl, who at least had a steady boyfriend. There were few precedents. Thomas on Wednesday called Moore a gifted actress and a wonderful comedian. I'm proud that we were in that groundbreaking sorority that brought single independent women to television, Thomas said in a statement. Well, Mary Richards was comfortable being single in her 30s, and while she dated, she wasn't desperate to get married. She sparred affectionately with her gruff boss, Lou Grant, played by Ed Asner, and addressed him always as Mr. Grant. And millions agreed the show's theme song that she could turn the world on with her smile. Boy, isn't that a fact? We're going to miss Mary Tyler Moore. She's been suffering for a long while, and now her suffering's over. Celebrate, Mary. You've changed the world. You've made us all smile a little bit. Well, let's talk about the survivors of Italy avalanche. Tell the Associated Press that they never gave up hope. First there was a loud roar, then darkness, hours and hours of darkness. A couple among the 9 survivors of the Italian avalanche that devastated a mountain hotel say that they survived nearly 58 hours buried beneath feet of snow by sucking on glass and mud-filled ice, comforting each other and those nearby and praying. The initial shock was so loud and the force so strong that the couple, 22-year-old Giorgia Galassi and her boyfriend, 25-year-old Vincenzo Forti, told the Associated Press on Wednesday, or today actually, that they were convinced that it was another earthquake rocking the luxury hotel Regia Piano. They never considered the threat of an avalanche at the snowbound resort. I don't think anyone imagined it. We didn't know until the firefighters told us. We thought the whole time it was a very strong earthquake, Galassi said in her parents' living room in the town of Guglielminovo, setting next to Forti. Well, that's take care of the news. When we come back, we're going to talk about something really pleasant, and that is the IRS loses. And our first case is a telephone hearing absolutely can be recorded. Sounds strange? Well, wait till you hear all about it after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, General Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:23 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's still 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 37 degrees. But if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in New York City, well, right now it's 49 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Chicago, Illinois, it's 39 degrees. And it is overcast. Well, that gives you the weather, but you know what? Let's put a smile on your face. Let's talk about the IRS Loses. Yeah, that's what you want to hear about right now. Sure it is. Put a smile on your face, like I said. Here's the first thing. A telephone hearing can be recorded. Now, you know what? When Emery Seaman faced a levy for back taxes, he requested a collection due process hearing. They call it a CDP hearing. And the IRS scheduled one to be held by phone. Now, he then told the IRS that he intended to record the hearing, but the IRS responded that this wasn't allowed. When Seaman insisted, that the IRS said that he had forfeited his right to the hearing. Well, Seaman went to court. This is what the conflict was. The tax code specifically allows taxpayers to record CDP hearings, but the IRS said that it does so only with in-person hearings. Well, he went to court. This is what the judge said. A phone call can be considered made in person, and there is no logic as to why face-to-face hearings can be recorded, but phone hearings not. So Seaman gets his hearing by phone, and he gets to record it. Now, are you smiling? Yeah, I am. That's for sure. Well, here's the case the IRS conceded, and you've heard me say it over and over and over again. The IRS only concedes when they're pretty doggone sure that their position won't prevail in court. Well, here's the case here. Unexpected pregnancy and breakup gives a tax break on a home sale. In this case, an unmarried couple bought a home and moved into that home. 7 months later, the woman discovered that she was pregnant. The couple then broke up. Sad as that it already is, right? Well, they intend to sell the home because it's just not big enough for two adults to live in separately with a child, and neither of them can afford it all by themselves. So here's the IRS ruling. The primary cause of the home sale is an unforeseen circumstance. So each owner qualifies for the tax gain or the tax-free gain on the sale. The maximum amount of such a gain equals the length of time that the owner owned the home and used it as their primary residence, divided by 2 years or 24 months, multiplied by $250,000, the maximum gain allowed if it had been owned for the full 2 years. So, you know what? It just makes common sense, right? Unforeseen circumstances, not due to your own fault. Well, here's another case the IRS lost. They sent a notice to the wrong address when it actually knew the right one. Here's the deal. David Buffano filed a tax return from Wheaton, Illinois. He then moved to Milford, Illinois, and reported his move to the post office. Now, when he didn't file later years' returns, an IRS office sent notices to his Milford address. When he didn't reply, another IRS office sent a final levy notice to the Wheaton address. When Buffano didn't receive it until after the deadline for answering, he argued that it was invalid since it was misaddressed. Well, the IRS says the notice was properly sent to the address on his last filed tax return, but this is what the judge said. That is the proper address only if the IRS doesn't have a later, better one in its files, which the IRS did in this case. So, the notice, you got it. It's invalid. Well, you've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS does stuff. That's where we're at right now with this next segment that we call Inside the IRS. Just a little bit like you got that too. The Twilight Zone. Yeah, well, you know what? Now, these are not tax court cases, but these are things that the IRS does and thinks. And if you know about them, I've told you all the time, the most valuable commodity you have is information, especially if you're talking about government's things and the IRS and especially them. So let's talk about that. How about turning betting losses? Whoops, let me get rid of that. There we go. Excuse me. Turning betting losses into business losses. You know what? You may not have to be a full-time professional gambler to get a tax break from gambling losses. In a recent tax court decision, and that's James Casanega, in a tax court summary opinion, the court ruled that an individual could deduct losses from horse race betting as business losses. How? The taxpayer pursued the activity regularly and with continuity and operated it in a business-like manner. Now, that's essential. For any business loss to be deductible, the taxpayer must prove a profit motive. As long as you can continue to try something new to make a profit, it is hard for the IRS to argue that you lacked a profit motive. It may be possible to sustain a tax-deductible loss from casino activity if you keep very accurate records, visit the casinos on a regular basis, and can establish via your records that you changed betting strategies in an effort to generate profits, even if you are not a professional gambler. Give that some thought for you Vegas travelers or Atlantic City guys or wherever you're going. How about this? When you lend money to your employer, yeah, listen, it's not as funny as it sounds. Although it's not common, there are times when an employee will provide working capital to his or her employer. If the debt is not repaid, the loss will generally be treated as a short-term capital loss limited to an annual deduction of $3,000. But there's a better option here. Claim the loss as an itemized deduction called bad debt from the employer on Schedule A if you can establish that the primary purpose for making the loan was to protect the payment of your salary. So now take note, though, be aware that taking the deduction may trigger alternative minimum tax. check with your financial advisor before you do anything here. This isn't the time for you to play tax expert if you're really not an expert. You want to make sure that you're using the right information and you don't get yourself in worse trouble. Now, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to talk to you about how to avoid challenges to your will. You're going to find this interesting. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:33 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's still 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It is beautiful outside. There's snow up on the mountains, but it's gorgeous out there. We're on our way down to 37 degrees. But if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Paris, France, well, it's 25 degrees. It's overcast. It's also tomorrow morning at 12:34, about 34 minutes after midnight. If you're listening to us in Rome, Italy, it's 46 degrees and it's clear. It's also the same time as it is in Paris, so give that some thought. But right now, what I really want to do is I want to give you some common sense advice here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I want to talk to you about avoid the challenges to your will. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to talk to you about a few things that you can do while you're alive to prevent your will from being contested after you're gone. The first thing is use a living trust to handle the estate. The longer the trust is in operation, the less likely a challenge is going to be successful. And videotape the situation surrounding the signing of the will to show that you're competent. Here's a trap, though. A no contest clause disinherits anyone who contests the will. But such clauses are invalid in many states and are useless if nothing is bequeathed to the person in the will. So be careful. If anyone is disinherited in the will, the document should explain why. Be sure that the explanation is factually correct. Let me give you an example. Let's just say a child has not been in contact with you for 10 years. A to Z, that's just the way that it's got to be. So keep in mind that there are ways to avoid these kinds of things. Let's move on to something else. How about how to avoid buck passing? Yeah, it's exactly what I said. How do you get the government to respond to complaints about Social Security benefits or housing issues or any of those kinds of things? Well, federal government buck passing is legendary, and here are some strategies for finding the right person to help you. Now, access the U.S. government's official web portal at www.usa.gov. Now, you can browse an A to Z agency index as well as a state and local government pages. Also, select Contact Us at the particular agency's website. Most now have this feature, which includes names and titles, email and mailing addresses, and telephone numbers. Or you can do you can contact the Federal Citizens Information Center. You can do that by calling 888-878-3256. That's 888-878-3256. Or you can go to their website at www.pueblo.gsa.gov. That's www.pueblo, that's pueblo.gsa.gov. Now, this agency provides answers to many consumer questions as well as government contact information. Much of the information is also available free in the Consumer Action Handbook. And then finally, find out if the agency has a problem resolution office. Address your complaints right there. You'll be surprised at the kind of action you might get. Yeah. Well, you know what? You ever wonder how to get your health insurer to pay up? Well, here's your answer. You pay your health insurance policy premiums without fail. But that doesn't mean that your insurance company will be as reliable when you make a claim. It is very possible that your claim will be improperly denied. Very few people bother to fight these denials, and that's unfortunate because policyholders who intelligently contest health insurance claims, denials often get them reversed. Now, if a seemingly valid health insurance claim that you make is denied in whole or in part, ask the insurance company to send you a full explanation of why it was denied or accepted for only a lesser amount. Then follow these steps to get your claim covered. First off, enlist support. If you have a group health policy, ask the group benefits administrator to help you contest the denial. If you purchased an individual policy through an independent insurance agent, ask the agent to help. Not only do benefits administrators and insurance agents have experience with these matters, they have clout with the insurers. And insurance companies might relent to an administrator's or agent's request to pay a claim simply to avoid losing future business. Well, the second step, write a letter to the insurer requesting a formal review of the denial and explaining why you believe that it's incorrect. Get the name of the person to write to from your benefits administrator or your agent. Send the letter via certified mail, return receipt requested. Cite the insurance company's own literature if it seems to contradict the argument made in the denial. If the policy literature is vague or confusing, and it often is, do not accept the insurance company's position that it means what it says that it means. In most states, the courts interpret insurance policy provisions as a layperson would understand them, not as a corporate lawyer would interpret them. Now, here's an example for you. Your insurance company refuses to pay for your home care following a serious accident, arguing that the care you received was custodial care, which is not covered, rather than skilled care, which is. If you received what the average person would consider skilled care, and your policy does not specifically define these terms in a way that defends the insurer's position, the law is likely to be on your side. Now, here's some common reasons for claims denials and possible responses to them. The procedure was not medically necessary. Ask your doctor to write a letter to the insurer explaining why the procedure was necessary in your case. Or the procedure was experimental. Ask your doctor to write a letter to the insurer noting that Medicare or other insurers cover the procedure or citing statistics showing that it is widely used, which means that it's not so experimental. And there was a filing error, such as a missed deadline. In most states, the insurer cannot legally deny your claim because of a technical filing mistake unless it can show that it was harmed by the mistake. Well, how about the bill exceeds reasonable and customary charges? Well, ask your doctor if there were special circumstances in your case that would justify higher costs. If there were, have him or her write a letter to the insurer describing them. Another option is to call other medical facilities in the region and ask what they charge for that procedure. Insurers often rely on old data or data from other parts of the country when they set these reasonable and customary estimates. If you can establish that your doctor did not charge more than others in your region than what they do, well, the insurer might back down. How about this? If your letter doesn't work, repeat your argument in a letter to the manager or supervisor of the insurance company's claims department. Get the name of the individual from your claims representative. Work your way up the corporate ladder. Now, you may need to convince only one person to agree with you for your denial to be reversed. Remain calm and polite. Contesting an insurance claim denial is frustrating, but insurance company employees are more likely to take your side if they like you. Write down the name of any person you speak to, as well as the date and time and what you were told. How about step 4? Contact your state's Department of Insurance and ask what it can do to help you. The quality and power of the state insurance departments vary significantly. Some help policyholders stand up to unfair insurance company practices or conduct independent reviews of denied claims. Here's an example for you. California Department of Insurance and Department of Managed Health Care offer independent medical reviews or of denied health insurance claims. Approximately 40% of them, of those that are reviewed, are decided in the patient's favor. Simply involving your state's Department of Insurance may be enough to convince an insurer that it's easier to pay your claim than to fight it. Well, how about step 5? Call the media. Local TV news programs and newspapers love stories about people being treated unfairly by big health insurance companies. Insurers despise this bad press and sometimes relent when reporters call. Determine which local reporters cover human interest stories of this sort. Contact them and ask if they'd be interested in your story. Well, how about step 6? Ready? Go to court. If your claim is in the low 4 figures or less, it might qualify for small claims court. If it's larger, you'll need to hire an attorney. If your case appears strong, there'll be plenty of attorneys willing to take it on a contingency basis. They get paid only if they win or settle the case. Now, hiring an attorney makes the most sense when an insurance company's unfair claim denial has interfered with your medical treatment and endangered your health. Juries often award substantial damages when that occurs. Just keep that in mind. I mean, really keep that in mind. Now, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to talk to you about first aid for air travelers. I'm going to talk to you about better hotel stays. I'll even talk to you about wrinkle-free packing. And I might even give you some insider's guide to slot machines. So don't go away. You got a lot of stuff to learn here today. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:48 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's still 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Now it says it's going down to 36 degrees is going to be the low. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in London, England, it's 32 degrees and mostly cloudy. In Vienna, Austria, you're listening to our show. It's 27 degrees and mostly cloudy, absolutely. Well, you know what? It's time for me to give you some more common sense hints. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell you about first aid for travelers. You know, air travelers should pack a bottle of baby aspirin in their carry-on baggage. Aspirin isn't always included in the medical kits aboard commercial airliners, even though its clot-busting effect can be life-saving in case of a heart attack. If you think that you're having a heart attack, chew one of those 81 milligram tablets while seeking emergency medical assistance. I'll tell you, that's probably one of the most common issues that happens on airplanes. Yeah. Well, you know what? And that's actually what happened to, I'm trying to think of her name, just recently, Debbie Reynolds. No, not Debbie Reynolds, but Debbie Reynolds' daughter. That's exactly what happened to her. Well, you know what? Better hotel stays. Interested? You know what? When registering at a hotel, ask for something specific, such as a room with a view or one closer to the elevator, that kind of stuff. This eliminates the chance that you'll get stuck with an undesirable room. If you have stayed at the hotel before, mention that when you check in, Never settle for an unacceptable room. Instead, call the front desk and ask for a reassignment. If you're planning to stay a week or more, write the hotel manager personally at least 1 week ahead of time and ask for a space available upgrade, price break, or extras such as restaurant credits or free shoe shines. At check-in, ask to meet the manager just to say hello. You ever wonder about it? Wrinkle-free packing can save you a lot of dough. You know what? If your travel's more than overnight and the occasion calls for multiple dress-up outfits, you'll want to pack a single suitcase as efficiently as possible. Now, according to the authors of Packing Bags to Trunks, the tissue or plastic bag method is really effective, and I've used it many, many times myself. Place tissue paper or plastic bags between each layer of clothing. Just let the garment slide rather than rub, and it keeps it from wrinkling. Or interlock belts and run them along the circumference of the suitcase. Place trousers waistband to waistband with the legs left to hanging outside the case. Add the layer of tissue to the surface, and then fold those back in again. You'll have nice creased, non-wrinkled trousers that way. Well, place blouses and shirts face down, folded. Using a long fold to turn up the bottom of the garment a third to avoid a mid-belly crease, and also more tissue. So if there is a crease, it's down below the belt area. And how about this? Turn suit jackets inside out. Roll up ties and tuck them inside the jacket pockets. Add another tissue layer. All those things are going to help. How about this? Now, the pant legs. When you're all done, fold them over the top, add more tissue. On top of that, add sweaters and socks laid out flat, not rolled. And then shoes, stuffed with underwear. They go into bags, plastic or fabric, and get stuffed in the sides of the bag along with the toiletry kit. They're going to be fine. You got them stuffed. They'll be protected. That's the way you want it to be. Absolutely. Yeah. How about Insider's Guide to Slot Machines? Well, see, I told you I'd help you with all these things. Josephine Crawford of Galloway Township in New Jersey didn't believe the casino employee when he told her that she had just won $10 million. But when bells kept ringing, the people gathered around her, the 84-year-old former waitress soon realized that the employee at Harrah's Atlantic City was right. Her bet on the Megabucks nickel slot had paid off. The odds are infinitesimal that you'll ever duplicate Crawford's success at the slots, but you can still have lots of fun. And who knows, you just might have be as lucky as she was, especially if you know the ropes in playing slot machines. Besides, playing slot machines requires little or no skill. You can play at your own pace and bet as little or as much as you want. What you need to know? Well, that's the odds. That's what you need to know. Casinos try to make your mind off take your mind off the odds. They introduce a constant stream of new slot games and offer eye-catching jackpots such as new cars displayed on turntables in full view of the machines. Regardless of the enticements, the majority of slot machines give an edge of 1% to 10% to the house, a term used for the owner of the machine, whether it's a casino or a convenience store in Nevada. This means that most slot players win back only 90 cents to 99 cents of every dollar that they actually play. Now, these payback rates are calculated over the long run, which can be many thousands of games, so don't be misled when you see a player win several times during an hour's play at a particular machine. There eventually be enough losses to bring the odds back to the house's favor, and you never know when those losses will occur. Well, the more it costs to play a slot, the higher the payback rate usually is. Games that cost $5 or $10, for example, pay back 99%. While nickel games often return no more than about 90%, and penny games pay even less than that. So be careful. Slot games on the internet are becoming popular. My advice, stay away from the internet slots. They're illegal to play in the United States, and there's no way of knowing what the payback rate's going to be. Also, keep in mind that even the best odds at slots are as good as the odds in other games, such as blackjack, that require skill, concentration, and a good memory. You know what? How about improving your chances? That's possible, you know. The best slot machine odds in Las Vegas, but are not on the city's famous strip. Casinos are on the strip, including Bally's, the Mirage, Stardust, Tropicana. They don't need player-friendly slots. So, you know, they're not going to need those player-friendly slots because they enjoy a steady stream of tourists. The payback on a 25-cent machine at the strip is about 93% or 94%. And on dollar games, it's about 95%. Or 96%. Casinos off the strip rely more on local residents who demand the incentive of better odds to play those slots. That's particularly true in the suburbs of Henderson and North Las Vegas, where the payback at such casinos as Sunset Station and Fiesta Station and the Green Valley Ranch is more or is 1 or 2 percentage points higher than what you're going to get on the strip. In Atlantic City, nickel slots usually have a payback rate of about 90%, while 91 to 92% is typical for quarter games and 94% for dollar slots. Casinos elsewhere in the country have similar payback rates. Slots at most casinos pay out bonuses to players who bet 2 or 3 coins at a time. Well, you know what? If you really want to win in Las Vegas, go to the shows and go to the restaurants and don't go to the tables. That's the best way. I've gone to Vegas many, many times, and I go there to visit money that I have on deposit there that they won't let me just bring home. So just keep that in mind. Now, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be with our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman, and Joel's going to be talking to us about all the news in the wireless technology field. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4 p.m. Pacific time, currently 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, it's on its way down to 37 degrees. But if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Cleveland, Ohio, I'll pray for you. Anyway, it's 51 degrees and it's overcast. And if you're lucky enough to live in God's country in Torrance, California, it's 55 degrees. It's clear. And if you got a wetsuit, you could probably go either waterboarding or surfing or any of those kind of things. I'll have to ask Dr. Wireless about that. Hey, Joel, you on the air? Did you get your feet wet today?
I didn't get my feet wet today. It's been pretty enormous lately. This morning I had meetings. Today was the first day I could have probably got my feet wet. Yesterday I would have needed to be airlifted by a helicopter and dropped out there.
Hey, are you letting business interfere with your surfing life?
No, I'm letting sanity interfere with my surfing life. I'm too old for that stuff when it gets enormous.
Yeah, the bones break really easy, don't they?
They don't heal very quickly. That much I know.
So listen, I'm guessing there are tons and tons and tons of new deals available in the wireless world today.
Well, there isn't so many new deals as, compared to usual. I don't know what's going on. The carriers haven't been announcing much. There's really nothing from Apple. There's certainly some good plans from the carriers. And there's certainly new products. There's certainly, we have 12 paid iPhone applications that are on sale for free right now.
Last week when we were talking, and I interrupted you because, and I don't know why, because I am who I am. I guess I just did it naturally. But you were going to talk about those free plans. Maybe you'll get a chance to do that today.
I can do that. For sure. I'm going to try to go through just some of the news. There are a couple of interesting things I think that your listeners might like to know about. One of which is we posted on our Dr. Wireless Facebook page all the information I'm going to talk about right now. The first thing is we put up to 12 paid iPhone applications that are free for this month. BGR.com provides these every month, and they're wonderful. Some of these apps are really good. The one that I kind of like was, I think it was called Sketchy or something.
Sketchy or something?
It lets you kind of draw on your iPhone. So it was kind of cool. But some of these might be useful, some not. This one was normally $3.99 and it's free. So, they offer these free for a short period of time for people to hop on. If you get it free, that's great. If you wait a week and try, it could be back for sale again. But to see what these are, if you want them for free, just visit DR or Facebook/DR Wireless. The other interesting thing, Robert, is I don't know if you heard about this, but there's now a device that allows you to hook it up to an iPhone to add micro SD support.
Well, you know what? Not only am I not aware of it, that just flew right over the top of my head. What is micro SD support?
Okay, well, you know how until Apple came along, all phones had built-in memory and they had removable memory, and they used these little micro SD cards.
Oh, right,
to store your memory. And it used to be, what was it? They used to judge them by the megabyte and then by the gigabyte. Now they're up to, I think, 256 gigabytes.
Wow.
So you can get an enormous card. And Apple, for a long time, was holding people hostage. If you wanted to go from 8 gig to 16 gig, it was 100.
Yeah.
You wanted to go from 16 to 32, it was 100. You wanted to go from 32 to 64, it was 100. You wanted to go from 64 to 128, it was 100. You want to go from 128 to 256, it was 100. So for a long time, Apple made a lot of money with that, and they did not put these micro SD slots on their devices so they could sell you the extra memory. Well, they still don't put these on their devices, and they'll never put them on their devices. But somebody came out with a third-party add-on.
Really?
And this is good for people who have iPhones that don't have enough memory, and here's a way they can move content from, say, their iPhone to this micro SD. So, again, that's on our Facebook/DR Wireless
So,
page.
Joel, is that primarily a storage component as opposed to a...
Exactly.
So
it's all about storage, and for people who don't have enough memory storage on their device.
Gotcha. So, like now what I do when I need more memory because my phone starts going a little slow because I got to just pack with stuff, I'll start removing some of the apps that are on there because I don't lose them. Microsoft saves them for me, or not Microsoft, but Apple saves them for me.
Apple.
And then if I ever do need it, I just go up there and re-download it. That doesn't cost me anything. Isn't that essentially the same thing?
It's similar. The difference is you're using the cloud to save this stuff, and this is allowing you just to plug in a local device. So and I'm a believer in the cloud. The cloud's a great thing.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it sounds interesting. I thought you were going to tell me they had some little bitty bug that you could plug in there, and all of a sudden your memory went from 36 gigs to 96 gigs or whatever it might be.
Well, that would be cool, but then they couldn't sell you for $100, more memory. So it's a vicious. And speaking of Apple, and I know I talked about this, I think, a couple years ago on one of your radio shows. Mm-hmm. I love Apple products, but I've never been a big advocate of these stores, right? These Apple stores. And each time I go in, it's mobbed. But I think I told you one time I was at a Consumer Electronics show about 8 years ago in Las Vegas. And I had two phones. At the time, I had like a iPhone 3S, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And it had the removable SIM card. And obviously, iPhones don't have removable batteries. And back then, the battery life was terrible. So at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm at McCarran Airport, and I got to leave. And my phone goes dead. And I can't afford to be dead from the time I get back to LA. Mm-hmm. So I carried this special BlackBerry with me, figuring I'll just move the SIM card over from the iPhone to the BlackBerry. That was my solution. Instead of having an extra battery, I had an extra phone. Mm-hmm. And all was going well until I popped out the SIM tray on the iPhone with the SIM card. Well, the card fell on my shoe, so that was no problem. I put it in the BlackBerry. But the SIM tray went flying across the aisle, and I couldn't find it. I'm on my knees. I'm looking all over. I can't find it. So I go to the Apple store. 2 days later, I'm in the mall with my wife. We're going to have lunch at one of these restaurants in the Manhattan Village Mall. So I go into the Apple store to buy one of these devices. And I see all these, Beltron accessories and all kinds of aftermarket accessories. And there really is no parts for iPhones, no removable parts short of that little SIM tray. So I have to talk to the genius. I have to make an appointment to speak to a genius. I can't buy this from anybody, but I got to talk to a genius first. So I make this appointment, and I got to look at this board until my name comes up on the board. It's like 40 minutes later, my name comes up, and they go, okay, you can talk to the genius now. So I go talk to the genius, and I say, okay, I need to buy a SIM tray. I lost mine on my phone. I understand they're $10. Here's $10. He goes, well, it's not quite that easy. I said, what do you mean it's not quite that easy? He said, well, we don't stock these. We have to special order this product, and you have to make another appointment to place the order. And I said, wait a minute.
Wait, you got to make another appointment to place the order?
I said, wait a minute. You're a genius. You made me wait 42 minutes to speak with you, and you're telling me you're a genius, but you don't have the capability of placing this order for me, that I have to schedule another appointment and come in and order this and then come back in at another time to pick it up. I can't just order it now and have you guys call me when it comes. No, we don't work like that. Anyhow, I spent an hour in there, couldn't get the part, gave up. My daughter had to bring her MacBook Pro in 4 days later to do something else, which was under warranty. I said, Carly, do me a favor. Ask them for a SIM card. Here's $12, cover the tax. Not a SIM card, a SIM tray.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tell them I have a 3S. I need the SIM tray. So she goes in there, does what she has to do, and says, oh, by the way, my dad needs a SIM tray. Here's $12. Can I order it for him? He said, you guys couldn't do it. And I said, sure, we can order it for you, but we need his MEID number and his SIM number. And
why?
She said, wait a minute. He's not buying this under warranty. Here's the cash. We're willing to pay for this thing. Well, I'm sorry, but we can't provide that stuff without the MEID. It was so ridiculous. I ordered it online, had it shipped to me. No tax, no shipping cost. I got it in 2 days online. I had the worst experience at the Apple store. I said to myself, I will never go in there again.
You actually were able to order that part online?
I ordered it on the internet and had, which was easy to find. And the first time I talked to Apple, they didn't even know what I was talking about. I had to explain it to the genius. And, oh, okay. We have to order that. We don't stock them. And I said, surely I'm not the first person who's lost this product. Oh, yeah, we do have to order them. Every week we have to get a couple of them. I said, well, wouldn't it be wise to stock these so people wouldn't have to make 2 trips?
Yeah, they didn't understand the concept inventory.
Exactly. So anyhow, to make a longer story short, one of the stories I have here is there's now a right to repair bill introduced in 5 states. And the context of this bill is it's your stuff. You should be able to fix it. And unfortunately, California is not on the list. But these states are trying to mandate that these companies like Apple support third-party companies who want to fix their product.
Makes sense to me.
And what they're saying is anybody who's ever been into an Apple store realizes it's an ordeal to get in. It takes forever, and they triple charge you what would be charged, by an independent.
Yep.
And they're extorting the public. So these bills are trying to get Apple to sell the factory original parts and provide access to owner's manuals to third-party repair shops. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I was going to say a damn good idea, but that's not the right adjective anyway. It is a phenomenal idea. You know what? If Apple doesn't want to support their own product on a reasonable basis, they deserve to lose that extra business.
That is what I feel.
Yeah.
That is what I feel.
Yeah.
So
and I'm an Apple lover. I mean, I just I would be hard pressed to move away from my iPhone.
Well, you're an AT&T lover too, and I've got some stuff to say that isn't going to make them look too good either. But Apple, I can understand. AT&T, it's like I said once before. When I see people that are knowingly on AT&T, I almost feel like I'm watching somebody who knowingly is smoking, cigarettes. It's like, it's not a matter of, if these people are hazardous to my health or if AT&T in this case is hazardous to my wealth. It's just a matter of, I haven't, since they lost their iPhone exclusive, they really haven't had any products or services that I can obtain elsewhere for less money with less aggravation.
Yeah, I think with me, it's more the inconvenience of all the little goodies that I've bought to support this thing. I've got, I don't know what they call this, the micro, what do you call that thing? The micro station thing, the boost.
Right. Which T-Mobile gives you for free for the asking, but
I had to pay $100 for this one at AT&T, believe it or not.
AT&T doesn't give anything away.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah,
and then they can charge you for something. They're gonna.
Yeah, and then I've got the 2 iPads, I've got 2 iPhones, I've got all this stuff going on, and so it's really a matter of me being too lazy to get that involved with it, and that's the real reason that I don't switch from AT&T.
You're a creature of habit. It's easier not to make any changes and to stay with what you got.
Yeah,
because you know what you have, for better or for worse.
Yeah,
you know what you have.
I know what I have, and I've got no complaints about it. It generally works really well for me. I'm probably paying more than I should be paying, but basically it works for me. So that's kind of what's going on.
You're definitely paying more than you should be paying. Let me read you some great article today in the Android Authority, and titled "AT&T losing more postpaid subscribers than other carriers, but this is part of the plan." Losing often results in winning, a phenomena AT&T seems to be currently experiencing as they continue to see postpaid subscribers go faster than any other carrier. So it's I don't know what to, all I can say is it seems to me that AT&T's business model is changing from wireless to content and internet content delivery. So it's just because right now they're getting cream. They're losing more subscribers than any of the other four major carriers in the U.S., including Sprint. And for you to lose more of your users than Sprint, isn't making them look very good. And the weird thing is they do not seem to be concerned about it.
Yeah.
So
and what you say is logical. It makes all the sense in the world. It's sort of like I don't know if I mentioned to you, I'm feeling somewhat abused by Verizon's FiOS, which is now Frontier. I had this thing, and it was, this whole bundle of things, and it was like $170 a month for all the goodies and all the different things that I got. And all of a sudden my year was up, and I get this email, and they're saying, it's time for you to renew, and and so I called them, and I stayed on hold for almost an hour waiting for somebody to answer the phone, or to come back to me. When I did that, they said, no problem. We can give you the exact same thing. Everything will be exactly the same. And you'll have all the goodies for $170 a month. Well, I just got my bill 3 days ago, and it was $255. And I'm sitting here thinking, all right, I got to pick a day that I can stay on the damn phone for another hour before I get a hold of somebody who's going to tell me, no, I didn't hear it that way. But it went up $100.
Let me tell you something.
Went up. I mean, that's a lot. $80. That went up $85.
Well, the problem is Verizon doesn't exist in that industry anymore. It's now Frontier.
Yeah.
The same, and this is, and you're going to see a lot more of this. The bad news is Tom Wheeler is out. Tom Wheeler was the FCC chairman. His background was Cellular Telephone Industry Association president, but he was an advocate for the people, and he was very much against all these consolidations. Now that Trump is in, one of the first things Trump did is he told Tom, sorry, dude, you're out of here. And he brought in a new guy, Ajit Pai, I think his name is, and he's a Republican, and he is very much, a hands-off, let these guys do what they want, pro-merger advocate. So, to make a long story short, you're experiencing something. Verizon knowingly sold their network, and they knew they were selling their network, and they perhaps may have allegedly been guilty of not maintaining it accordingly. And by the time Frontier got it, they had big trouble.
Yeah.
Because they got an obsolete network that was poorly maintained with a bunch of angry customers. So, you happen to be one of them. The merger, the other big merger was the Time Warner Spectrum merger, the Charter Time Warner Spectrum merger. And I have seen initially there was a little bit of disgruntlement with them, and now people are happier with Spectrum. And the reason is I'm able to offer better deals with Spectrum month to month than I was able to offer with contracts with Time Warner. Wow. Spectrum's rates are so much better. And I'd be happy to quote you a rate. I represent Granite, Spectrum, California Internet, Telepacific, Time Warner, Frontier, all of them.
But you have to be in an area where, I mean, the way I'm set up is I've got a box in my garage. I don't have a satellite dish. It comes in FiOS. Right. And Spectrum is going to come in satellite, right?
Email me your address, and I can tell you exactly, what the deals are, and who's eligible to be a provider for you. But even if you stayed put, Frontier knows that you've talked to Telepacific and you've talked to Spectrum, and that you have rates, and you're ready. It's like cellular. You're ready to pull the trigger. They get very generous all of a sudden.
Well, that's what I'm going to. Maybe that's what I had to do before I call them. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, don't call them yet. What you should do is send me your address. Let me give you some quotes, and then you go in with the quotes. You say, I'm getting ready to pull the trigger because this seems to be a way better deal than you're giving me.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, listen, we're going to take a break. When we come back, let's talk some more about what's new in the wireless world, huh?
Fair enough.
We'll be right back with Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. Hey, Joel, give out your contact information before we go.
All right. Everything we're talking about can be found on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/drwireless. Also on our website, www.drwireless.com, and particularly /blog.
And we'll be right back with Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman, after these brief messages. Do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:24 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's still 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California, on his way down to 36 degrees. I'm looking out the studio window. I see snow up on the mountains. Actually snowed in Upland, California, day before yesterday. Unbelievable. Never unheard of, actually. Now, if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in London, England, well, it's 32 degrees. It is mostly cloudy. And if you're listening to us in Vienna, Austria, it's 27 degrees and it's also mostly cloudy. But I'll tell you what, no clouds over the head of our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. Joel, you got the microphone, buddy.
Well, I don't know about no clouds because I was going to talk about some clouds. I actually have one very big cloud over my head right now, and I'm loving life with it. And so thank you for the nice segue. One of my New Year's resolutions, and I have 2 or 3 of them, actually 3 or 4 of them, getting a haircut was one of them. But,
wait a minute. I want you to send me a picture because the only picture I have of you is you in a ponytail.
Well, that's the hair I'm thinking about cutting.
Don't do it, man. You know what happened to Samson, right?
Well, that's what they say. I've had a few friends say don't do it, but it's becoming a pain. But that was one of the resolutions. The other one was that I plan to stop using email because I got to a point where I was relying on email and not physically talking to my friends and my clients. And I kind of lost a little bit of the personalization, which was kind of one of my trademarks. So my goal is to reach out and physically speak to people again and try not to use email so much and to try to work smarter and work less and make more money and spend more time with my family.
Now
who doesn't want to do all of that?
That sounds like a deal. Work smarter, not harder. Make more money and spend more time with your family. That sounds like the perfect deal. But here's the deal about hair.
And that's where I'm going. I have found what I did is I stopped using my office phone for a long time and was relying on my cell phone and my email. And what I'm now doing is I'm going back to my office phone. And my office phone has gone from a landline to a voice over IP virtual PBX. Private branch exchange is what a PBX is. I throw away acronyms sometimes, and that's the old systems that the big companies used to have. Or if you want Robert Cardoza, dial extension 1. If you want to dial by company directory, press 111. All of that stuff is there, and you can disable it if you want. Some people don't care for that. Some people do. I like perception. I don't mind if somebody mistakes Dr. Wireless for a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah.
As long as it's not the IRS, I'm fine with it. So I'm enjoying this, Robert, because now what I do is I give out my office number, and you're welcome once we hang up to call me at 310-540-6480. I no longer need to give out my cell phone number because if you want to reach me, you can call that number. That number will ring my office. If I'm not in the office, that number will ring my cell phone. That number you can send me an SMS message on. You can leave a voice message. You can send me a fax on that number as well. So it's one number, does everything.
Give it again.
And the beauty of it is I have a portal I can access. So anytime anything comes in, I get an email and a text message telling me what's going on. So I can be in a meeting. You can leave a message. I can actually listen or read the message without having to call voicemail.
So give that number out one more.
Very productive.
Give that number out one more time.
Okay, my number 310-540-6480.
Okay.
So if you call it, it basically is my attendant, and one of the benefits of this system is you gain quite a few features. One of them is like an auto attendant, and that can be set up with the generic messages, or you can customize your own messages. But very cool stuff, the way you can route calls. And the beauty of this is it's more reliable than a traditional system, because if your power went out or your internet went out on a traditional system, you're done. This is over the internet, But the beauty is it's in the cloud. So if your internet goes out, you can set this up to, have your cell phone ring sequentially or after 4 rings, or you can take your office phone out of your office and take it to a Starbucks across the street or anywhere you can get internet access. And any computer you plug in this into, your phone is going to act like your office phone. And this is terrific when you're moving from one location to another. No longer do you have to call phone companies and make appointments and pay for expensive wiring. You just take your device and plug it in to another computer, another Ethernet port, and you're good to go.
So what's the size of your unit? Is it the size of the old desktop type phones, or
it's like a desktop type phone? I use something called the Polycom VX411. Mm-hmm. And it's a 12-line phone with a color screen. And it's got features like presence. So if I had, let's say, 6 employees, I can set this thing up where I can see which employees are on the phone, which employees are, say, on vacation or out of the office. I can set extensions to ring certain employees or go to certain. There's just so much robustness and capability with this system. And this is what the Fortune 500 companies use. And most people feel that you'd spend triple figures for a system like this. And the reality is you'll usually spend less than you're spending for a traditional phone system at home or in your office that just gives you voice.
Wow.
I mean, I'm $27.99 times 2 for 2 lines.
So, but you have to have it needs to be plugged into a computer.
It's internet.
Constantly. Yeah.
Right. You need Ethernet connectivity for the system to work.
Yeah. Oh,
but
so you don't. So you do not have to have. You could have the Ethernet plugged from your router right into that system without it going through your computer.
True.
Oh, well, that's pretty slick.
It's amazing stuff. I'm going to send you a video, or you can go to, actually, the best thing to do is go to www.drwireless.com, and you'll see Doctors Cloud Services. And if you click on that banner, it'll explain cloud services, and then it'll also show, you'll see a drop down that says Ring Central Cloud PBX. And I would click on that because there's a very good presentation that explains what is a cloud phone system.
Okay.
And the beauty of this, Robert, is you have workforce collaboration capabilities that are unbelievable. If you've got a team, you can collaborate with that team like never before. You have your contact center with the auto attendant. It's a global office. It goes anywhere you do. If you've got clients in Japan, you can even assign a Japanese international number for those clients to call, so it's not a long-distance call when they call the U.S. I mean, there's so much stuff you can do on a global basis with this.
Now, can you actually, for my station information here, could I actually plug that system into my show so that I could be handling those lines independently?
Yes, you could.
Oh, I need to be looking at that. Okay. I'll go online.
We'll talk about that another time, but this would probably be a natural for you and what you're doing.
Yeah. I need to take a good, strong look at that. All right. Listen, we've got, I don't know what the heck we've 4:32. What time did we get off here? 4:37. We got 4 minutes.
All right. Then let's see what we should talk about. There is a new T-Mobile promotion. I think we talked about T-Mobile's deal with the T-Mobile Tuesdays, where they reward their subscribers.
Yes.
With cool stuff, from free pizzas, free Lyft rides, free movie rentals, all kinds of stuff. And they do this because they like to rub the other carrier's nose in it. We're so generous. We do great stuff for our subscribers. Now they're taking it one step further. What they want you to do, and this started last week, is they reward their users, as they always do. They gave me my 2 free Lyft rides, and they gave me 2 gas discounts from Shell. Oh. And this week, what they want you to do is they want you to share these gifts. And even better, they want T-Mobile subscribers to share these rewards with AT&T and Verizon subscribers. Just the latest way that the Un-carrier is rubbing it in. So, the CEO said in a press conference, personally, I'm gifting one of my T-Mobile Tuesday gifts to Lowell and Randall. These are the presidents at AT&T and Verizon. As he's saying, personally, I'm giving my T-Mobile gifts to Lowell and Randall to say thank you for donating so many customers to T-Mobile over the years. Lowell McAdam and Randall Stevenson, of course, are the CEOs of Verizon and AT&T, or as he calls them, Dumb and Dumber. So I figured we'd end on that note, and
we can't. We can't end yet. You still got 2 more minutes.
All right, then. How about we talk about the next iPhone coming out?
Oh yeah, talk about that. Am I going to be excited?
Everybody wants to hear about that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and come back next week, and we'll let you. But I won't do that. The new iPhone will have facial recognition, no bezels, and metal under the display to make it a little bit more durable. This is coming from our favorite analyst, who knows what's going on, who's never wrong with these iPhone devices. Kuo Ming Chi is the gentleman who he's always accurate. So everything he says, I have to believe. And apparently, they did want to do something with wireless charging, but that he says they're not going to be ready for. But the zero bezel design is interesting, and we'll have to see what else they do. They're also talking about an OLED display, which has got like a flexible curve to it.
So when are they talking about bringing that out?
Well, he didn't say, but I have to assume that it seems the S models always come out in May, and the new models always come out the third week of September. They usually announce it like on my birthday, September 6th, and then they usually bring it out 3 weeks later, which is usually about the 21st. So I'm going to guess that the new one is coming out in September until I hear otherwise.
Okay, so I'm going to get one of the new ones, so I'm going to be anxious to find out what all the bells and whistles are going to be.
Well, I will say it's probably going to be worth busting a move. It's supposed to be radically different. It's a 10th year anniversary. And I know I'm running out of time, so everything we talked about, again, can be found on the Dr. Wireless Facebook page, which is facebook.com/drwireless. Also on our www.drwireless.com website, much of it under /blog. Anybody with questions can contact me directly. I'm not going to give my email address. I'm going to say, call me, 310-540-6480, and listen to all the cool stuff that happens when you do call.
Hey, Joel, this was a fantastic show as always. I love Wednesdays being with you because it's always going to be something new and exciting. You have a great rest of the week. Well, I'm not going to tell you to stay dry because that would be telling you not to have a good time. Don't cut your hair. Don't cut your hair because nobody will recognize you. And talking to a guy who is follically challenged, you know what? I don't touch any hair that'll grow. I don't care where it's at. Anyway.
Oh, wait. I won't cut my hair and I'll get my feet wet. And on that note, I'll say have a wonderful weekend.
All right, you too. Have a great one and stay safe. The rest of you folks, do not go away. We're going to be right back with the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, the interesting but useless fact. We'll be right back, folks. Don't go away. Well, we'll be right back if I find the right stage. There we go.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:42 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's still 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 37 degrees. And you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you happen to be in Madrid, Spain, well, it's 28 degrees and it's clear. If you're in Tokyo, Japan, listening to our show, well, it's 39 degrees and it's also clear. So that's where all that's at. But right now, what I want to talk to you about is the secret daily teaching for your life. You know, this is all about a positive mental attitude. You decide if you're going to be healthy or ill. You decide if you're going to be a success or if you're going to be a failure, if you're going to be happy or sad, if you're going to be rich or poor. You decide all those things with your positive mental attitude. You do that every morning when you look in the mirror. You say, wow, I'm going to have a fantastic, productive, profitable day today, and I'm going to make everybody around me happy. Yeah, you decide. No one else does. You control your life. So the secret for today is this. When you say, I am, the words that follow are summoning creation with a mighty force because you are declaring it to be fact. You are stating it with a mighty force because you are declaring it to be fact. You are stating it with certainty. And so immediately after you say, I am tired, or I am broke, or I am sick, or I am late, or I am overweight, or I am old, the genie says, your wish is my command. Give that some thought the next time you think about what I said, that you control everything in your life. Yeah. Well, you know what today is. We do. Everybody knows. It's Wednesday. It's January the 25th, and it is absolutely somebody's birthday. Yes, sir. And we've got some terrific birthdays for today. So you know what? We might just as well get right to them. Here's somebody born in 1882, passed away in 1941, a novelist regarded as one of the foremost modernist literary figures in the 20th century. Happy birthday, Virginia Woolf. Yeah. And the guy born in 1951, passed away in 1975, an American middle and long distance runner who helped inspire the running boom. Happy birthday, Steve Prefontaine. Yeah. And then finally, born in 1981, a singer and co-founder and global ambassador of Keep a Child Alive. For her work, she was given a humanitarian award. Happy birthday, Alicia Keys. Yeah. Well, I know that you were just wondering what was going on today in history, what was going on. So you know what? Settle back, sit down in your favorite chair, because I'm about to tell you, it won't take very long, that today, January the 25th, 1881, Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham Bell formed the Oriental Telephone Company. Yeah, the Oriental Telephone Company. And how about on this date in 1890? Yeah, Nellie Bly completes her round-the-world journey in 72 days, not 80 days. And on this date in 1949, at the Hollywood Athletic Club, the first Emmy Awards are presented. Yeah. And, well, January 25th, 1961, in Washington, D.C., John Fitzgerald Kennedy delivers the very first live presidential television news conference. Yeah, isn't that something? Now, how many have they had? Sure. Well, you know what? Our quote for today comes from George John Nathan. And he says, "Love is an emotion experienced by the many and enjoyed, by the few." You got that right. Well, you know what? It is time for our interesting but useless facts. We've got actually, I'm running a little ahead of time, so we got a few minutes to do some of these. Let me tell you this one. You know what? The difference between male and female blue crabs is the design located on their apron or their belly. Now, the male blue crab has the Washington Monument, while the female apron is shaped like the United States Capitol. Isn't that something? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. How about this? You know what? In Paulding, Ohio, an officer of the law may bite a dog to quiet him. Yeah, that's why I don't live in Ohio. Did you know that most of the little schoolhouses in the United States of yesteryear were painted red because red was the least expensive paint color? It was for no other reason. Now, I mean, money is a good reason, I guess. Did you know that there's no evidence that pirates made people walk the plank? Sure seems to be a common occurrence for not having any evidence of it. Did you know that it took Leo Tolstoy 6 years to write War and Peace? Yeah, that's enough reason to go to war. Try this on for size. Did you know that South Africa used to have 2 official languages? Now it has 11. Give me a break, right? Can you imagine? Well, here's one for you. There are playing cards manufactured especially for left-handed people. Now, normally, the pips on a card are in the upper left-hand corner and lower right for the convenience of right-handed fanners. Left-handed playing cards have pips on all 4 corners. Now, you can ask me, what the heck's a pip? I have no idea. Did you know that the lowest temperature ever recorded in the world was 129 degrees below zero? That was at Vostok, Antarctica. And it was on July 21st, 1983. As things go, not that long ago, right? Yeah. Well, let's see. How are we doing on time here? Well, we're doing okay. Let's try this. Did you know that the fuzz on a tennis ball is intentionally included as a way to give the ball some definite action when it hits the court? It also slows the flight of the ball through the air. I guess that would be somewhat of an advantage. Let me leave you with this one. Alligators can live for more than 100 years. Now that, my friends, is something. Now, don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to be doing our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey in the rest of the story. And today's story, is Brother Bob. And if my sister Shirley's listening, I'm not talking about me. You're going to be interested in hearing all about this. So don't go away. We'll be right back with Brother Bob, the tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey, and the rest of the story.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:53 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's currently 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's on its way down to 37 degrees. And you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Sydney, Australia, well, it's 72 degrees. It's mostly cloudy and it's 11:53 tomorrow morning. And if you're listening to us in Lisbon, Portugal, well, it's 54 degrees and it's mostly cloudy. But you know what? Stay tuned. Stay with us because what we're going to do right now is our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. sir. You know what? The American Broadcasting Company calls him the biggest voice in America. He's Paul Harvey, and each week, millions of listeners, viewers, and readers awaited his unraveling of the mysteries of events in the lives of people past and present. He was heard on over 1,400 radio stations, seen on 110 television stations, and he was read in over 300 newspapers. The rest of the story has for years been exploring the byways of history and the revelations that are intriguing, amusing, and surprising. Well, you know, our tribute today to Paul Harvey is Brother Bob. Yeah, you know what? Not exactly what you're thinking, especially if you're my sister Shirley. Here's the story. Lula Parker Bettinson is 95. She wants to tell you about her big brother. Seems you're already under the misconception or two about him and she. Lula wants to make sure that you know the rest of the story. Well, Lula Parker Bettinson comes from a Mormon family. Her parents migrated from Iowa to Utah, settled property in Circleville, where Lula still lives. She had an older brother who died in the 30s. His name was Bob. In the years since, you've heard a lot about Brother Bob Parker. A lot of it isn't true, though. Lula wants to correct that. She wants you to know him as she knew him. Bob was a perfect gentleman. Lula thinks that's important for you to understand. She remembers Bob's excellent table manners and that he respected women, and that when dining in a restaurant, he always left a more than appropriate gratuity for the waitress. Well, these are details, Lula admits, small facets to her brother's overall personality, but together they paint an impressive picture. Bob adored his mother. When he was away from home, he missed her the most. When he visited, he was glad to see Mom that he waltzed around the room. Those memories are most vivid for Lula. Bob dancing joyously with his mother, sweeping her off her feet as if she were a toy and lifting her high into the air. Folks just don't remember him like that, Lula complains. They most remember the times that he sidestepped the law. Even then, says Lula, it should be recalled that Brother Bob never, ever killed a man. He was proud of that. Of course, the emphasis on that fact is not meant to excuse any other wrong he may have done. In fact, when he came to criticism, no one was harder on Bob than Bob. He was old enough to know better, he always said. He continually reminded himself that what he was doing was shameful and that he was always trying very hard to walk the straight and narrow. Yet, somehow, the straight and narrow was just too straight and too narrow, and Bob would be off again, doing those things that he knew he shouldn't be doing. Bob did not die violently, nor did he die young. He passed away quietly at the ripe old age in the Pacific Northwest, in bed. He was not gunned down in South America, as many family have come to believe. As a matter of fact, he was the Parker family that helped to sustain that rumor. For you see, in the end, Bob did go straight. Under cover of having supposedly been killed, the last 30 years of his life were peaceful, law-abiding. Bob might always have been good. His sister Lula assures us there was simply a time that he fell in with the wrong crowd, a group deservedly called the Wild Bunch. And of all the bad influences, there was one in particular, a gunslinging horse thief named Harry Longbow. You remember Harry, and you remember Bob, too. For Lula's brother Bob, the well-mannered gentleman, bank robber who found killing distasteful, the mama's boy who tried all his life to be good and finally was, called himself Butch Cassidy. And his pal, Harry Longbow, who tried to keep him on the wrong side of the law? Well, you remember him as the Sundance Kid. Yeah, and now you know the rest of the story. Well, you're not going to want to miss tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's tribute to Paul Harvey is going to be the mother of Mother's Day. Yeah, you're not going to want to miss that. It's a great story. Now, listen, I want to remind you that tomorrow we'll have Sean Lefebvre. Sean Lefebvre and I are going to be talking about health care on the Geared for Wellness Corner. And we're going to be talking about vaccinations and a number of fallacies that have been said out there, and the horrible thing that the CDC, the government's letting the CDC do to all of us here. Now, I'm going to continue our tribute to late great Paul Harvey, just as I told you, and the rest of the story. And I want to ask you to please tell all your friends about our show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network, because they're going to be really glad you did. I know that you'll be glad you did, and I can guarantee you that I'll be glad you did.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.